It's obvious the popularity of Call of Duty Zombies is growing constantly, and so is the scale of the maps we play and come to love. From the simple 4-room survival game we received on Call of Duty World at War to an epic Easter egg on the surface of the moon, and then all the way to the battlefields of World War I. To many of us these maps hold nostalgia, but to many people in this Zombies community we have created over the years new maps, and even replaying old maps hold answers to hidden storylines we are itching to conclude. There's no doubt that the Zombies team over at Treyarch are creating something awesome for us in the next upcoming title in 2015. With all that said, we thought this was a perfect time to fill in some undercover secrets. This is Call of Duty Zombies versus real life storylines.
CodeNamePizza, ready to game.
Our story begins in 1936. Tensions are rising in Germany whilst Adolf Hitler plots to reverse the outcome of World War I. Hitler gathers a team of researchers to attempt to undergo a massive operation to discover the next big weaponry advancement to gain control over Europe. Sometime throughout 1936, apparently an unidentified flying object crash-landed in an area known as the Black Forest in Germany. Within a couple of hours, the remains of the downed aircraft was apparently collected by Hitler's troops and taken to a secret location known for being the site of Nazi party meetings, known nowadays as Wolfsburg Castle. Now, before moving on to actually talk about the castle itself, I want to just stop there for a minute and point out how amazing this area would be as a location in a Zombies map. Can you imagine it? The Black Forest. It would be amazing. It's a secluded forest. There's a lot of rumours going around that this place is haunted as well, so we could incorporate like the little girl from Buried in it. There's so many things we could do. As well as that, there's lots of different types of terrain there. You've got overgrown forest areas, rivers, lakes, swamps, which means we could have buildables such as boats to get over these rivers, traps that we can make out of wood and other things to actually navigate your way through the terrain a lot easier. The remains of the disc were then apparently taken to Wolfsburg Castle with the help of the Vril. Now, the Vril are apparently a master race. Now, this is exactly what Dr. Richtofen is trying to achieve. He's trying to make the super soldier. Now, we see this all the way back in Der Riese, but then we also see it depicted very clearly in the opening cutscene of Origins. Now, the Vril are also depicted in the book The Coming Grace. Now, another thing that this book mentions is that the Vril have the ability to hold super amounts of hidden power in objects. Now, we've seen this so many times in Zombies. We've seen it in the Golden Rod from Call of the Dead, the Focusing Stone from Shangri-La, the Gramophones from Origins, and there's so many more times we've seen this. All these objects are able to do things, and weird things, with no explanation of how they achieve it. The disc that was taken to Wolfsburg Castle was then reverse engineered to try and discover how it was able to fly the way it did. This sparked the Nazis attempting to conquer anti-gravity. One of the anti-gravity devices apparently created by the Nazis was the Nazi Bell, or Die Glock. The Nazi Bell was created for one of two purposes, the first of which being as a flying vessel, using a method of flight discovered by Victor Schwarberger. Taking inspiration from nature, Victor managed to produce what is known as the repulsing. The repulsing didn't work like anything ever made before. Instead of attempting to push air down to give a lift to an object, Victor's idea was to suck air in to create a kind of vortex to have the object travel through. We've seen things look and work the exact same way in Zombies many times. If we look at the jet gun from Transit, we notice that the jet gun isn't pushing air out to kill the zombies, it's in fact creating this vortex, pulling us closer to anything we fire it at. Looking back at the Nazi Bell, we noticed that it looks almost exactly the same as the MDT teleporters found in Der Riese, but the MDT teleporters in Der Riese weren't used for flying, they were used for teleporting, and this is what the apparent second use of the Nazi Bell was. In 1945, the Nazi Bell apparently made its final trip with people on board to get them out of the planet at the end of the war. One of these people was Maria Orsic. Maria Orsic is also in Zombies, but we know her as Sophia. Sophia is Dr. Maxis' assistant. We know about Sophia only through radio transmissions on Der Riese and also on Kino de Toten, but it would be amazing if we could have her as part of the cast in one of the maps someday. Another method of how the Nazi Bell supposedly was achieving this anti-gravity effect was by using what is now known as the fly trap. Located in Poland, the flytrap would have the Nazi bell placed dead in the centre, and the rest is unknown, but the flytrap can easily be seen on Dries by no clipping out of the map, and is also used in Samantha's hide-and-seek Easter egg. Other strange objects spotted in the sky over Europe and the Pacific during this time were referred to as Foo Fighters. The sightings of these mysterious objects were often described as glowing balls of light, generally orange in colour. The US military took the sightings of these Foo Fighters very seriously, thinking that they were secret advanced German weapons, but further investigations showed that German and Japanese pilots also witnessed the same events. Many people believe the Foo Fighters are alien in origin, attempting to spy on the world during World War II, and even possibly being the same type of craft that crashed in the Black Forest 9 years previously. A Foo Fighter can clearly be spotted on Mob of the Dead above the right hand side of the Pack-a-Punch Bridge. With no evidence why it's there, we can only assume that it's possibly to give us slightly more indication of the date the map is set in. And then there were flying objects that were completely identifiable, such as the world's first long-range ballistic missile, also known as the V2 rocket. Developed by the Germans, the V2 rocket was the first man-made object to enter space. Estimated kills of these weapons during the war was up to 9,000. The Nazis were quickly gaining power and attempting to build bigger and better weapons, one of these being the New York rocket. The development of the New York rocket was stopped after Germany found itself hopelessly tangled with an enemy much closer than America, the Soviet Union. Even though the New York rocket's development was stopped in the real world, I believe that this is what we see in Moon. If we look at the rockets on Moon, we see they look very similar to the V2 rockets, but 4 V2 rockets wouldn't have the power of destruction we see on the Moon Easter egg after completing Richtofen's grand scheme, but 4 New York rockets certainly would. This wouldn't destroy the Earth, but it could definitely do the damage we see in Black Ops 2. So it's clear to see that the Zombies production team over at Treyarch are clearly working around some of these old creepy Nazi stories. There's so many more freaky Nazi stories out there. I will be covering these in future videos just to explain what we might be able to see in future zombie maps. But for now guys, I just want to take the time to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you discuss your feelings and your comments in the section below. And if you did enjoy it, please make sure you leave a like because it helps our channel out so much. So thank you for watching guys, and peace out.